I have some good news to report. Wildrose Shadow Minister of Finance Derek Fildebrandt was returned to caucus and to his portfolio today after he was unceremoniously suspended late last week for a social media flub. This is great news. I'm very glad to see that the Wildrose Party leadership has listened to the outcry of thousands of Albertans, like those of you who signed our petition, and they've listened to the party's own grassroots. The Wildrose has done the right thing, but unfortunately they had to be dragged there by Albertans. The party brass just got a real reality check from the people they work for. Let's hope they learn something and don't make the same mistake again. But now let's talk about what happens when Conservatives start apologizing for being right. Derek Fildebrandt was critical of Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne's government policies while she was sitting in the legislature gallery as a guest of Alberta Premier Notley. Just watch.
Today, Alberta welcomed Ontario's Liberal Premier Kathleen Wynne to the Legislative Assembly. While I'm sure their talk session was valuable, we aren't sure what benefit Albertans can get from Ontario's emissions plan. For power consumers, it's meant skyrocketing power bills, massive subsidies to unprofitable initiatives, and Auditor General's reports into billions of wasted tax dollars. A few months ago, our Premier praised the Ontario plan. Is the Premier still endorsing this plan? And if so, what part does she think will benefit Albertans?
And that exchange led to an apology by the Wildrose for Fildebrandt's tone. This was their first mistake. Derek did not say or do anything that I haven't said 100 times and many times on video. Derek was simply telling the truth and standing up for his fellow Albertans. Now, no one should be made to apologize for the truth. And you certainly don't appease the social justice crocodile by feeding it the head of your best and brightest on a platter, because that crocodile will be certainly hungry again. And it was. There was Conservative blood in the water now. The social justice warriors and the shrieking cry bullies took to Fildebrandt's Facebook page to find a social media flub. And they did. They accused Fildebrandt of homophobia for the crime of replying to a Facebook post that could have been homophobic. And then the Wildrose Party canned him. Because that's how low the bar is set now for us Conservatives. We are held responsible for other people's words. It didn't matter that gay progressives and Conservatives alike stood up for Derek against these ridiculous allegations. It didn't matter that Derek had been to more gay rodeos than his accusers. The social justice warriors wanted their pound of flesh, and the Wildrose obliged them. And the hunger for Conservative blood continued. Premier Wynne and her supporters were now emboldened by the first apology to her. Now she's making crazy allegations. Wynne claims that critiques about her ineptitude by Derek Fildebrandt are misogyny or something. Just watch this talk she gave at the Liberal Party convention in Winnipeg. Here.
In the question about Wildrose, yes, I accept the apology, but, you know, I think that it was an interesting confluence of things. There's a woman premier in Alberta, I'm there as a woman, we're talking about climate change, and I think the attack, the viciousness of the attack had a particular quality to it. So I will just say we need to pay attention to that.
Now nothing Derek Fildebrandt said about Wynne in the legislature that day had anything to do with Wynne being a woman. It was about her fiscal ineptitude. We all saw the clip. And Derek routinely destroys the NDP Finance Minister Joe Ceci in the legislature over the Finance Minister's bad fiscal policies. Now, none of that happens because of Ceci's gender. It's because Ceci is literally the worst. But if you give in once, twice, thrice to the social justice warriors, they come back for more. Like stray cats or bears that live at the dump. They're dangerous, hungry, and lazy. And they don't want to work for their next meal. They want to eat your garbage. Wynne and the lefties are making outlandish and wild allegations against the Wildrose because they can. And they can get away with it. And why not? I mean, everyone else is. It's paying off hugely for them. The Progressives ate the Wildrose's rising star for dinner. This whole mess, this days-long story that could have been over in 20 minutes, is what happens when we apologize for being right. This is what happens when Conservatives care more about looking friendly and playing the game than we care about being righteous and accurate in our arguments. Conservatives have to stop this business of apologizing for making others feel uncomfortable with the cold hard facts. Now, whether you like Donald Trump or you can't stand him, you cannot disagree with his ability to neuter his critics by never conceding any power or giving any relevance to hurt feelings. Those people us conservatives make uncomfortable are liberals. They aren't our allies, and they feed on weakness because they are intellectually lazy. Crying to get one's way is far easier than making a reasoned argument. Apologizing and then suspending Fildebrandt was like paying a ransom to a kidnapper. It makes kidnapping a profitable affair. As conservatives, we have to stop this, because if not, there will be simply more and more kidnappings. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.